This video is about using PhoneGap with the sample data collection app built with Alpha Anywhere for doing the concrete mixing truck daily inspection. And here we have it running in a simulator, and in the simulator it's going against a little different type of login, and I can also run it in a browser against a local server, in which case I could test that. But in order to be able to do a lot of the testing, you really want to be able to, I'm showing it in a mirrored iPhone, and here this iPhone is connected by Wi-Fi to the server that I have running on my machine. And if I type in the username that I've put in to the Alpha security, you see that it's logged in, and there's in the database there aren't any records for that particular for that person yet, but I can do a new, and by either pushing new or by pressing that first line, and then I can do a scan. And in this case, when I push the scan, the scanner comes up, and it gets the scan complete, and now I have a record ready to go. And if I do a sync, it'll do the real sync. So that shows you it running, and it's running in PhoneGap. It's running as a regular app that's available from the home page off of an icon, and you could put it into an app store. So let's look a little bit about how this was done. We look at Alpha Anywhere here. We have the mobile form cement truck component. Here we have it here, and we have that A5W, but we can go to PhoneGap. And when you go to PhoneGap, what you can do is you can create a new PhoneGap project, and I created one called Cement Truck, and I put in my PhoneGap build account credentials. And if you want to know all about using PhoneGap, down here you can click on this link to learn about the PhoneGap documentation about using PhoneGap with Alpha Anywhere, and here to learn about the plugins. And now in this case, I set it for Android and iOS. The initial component that I chose by clicking here is the mobile form cement truck component. The URL I'm using is the URL on my local Wi-Fi network for that server that will get me to the place where I publish it, which is in the A5 root. I generated the PhoneGap asset files, and at least once I generated the image resource files. I gave it a name of Alpha Software, com.alphasoftware.cementtruck, an application name. This is what shows up under the icon on the home page of the mobile device. I gave it a name, and in this case I set the status bar style to black translucent, which worked out. You'll see how that was done. Some of these automatically get chosen, but the important one here is that the barcode scanner was chosen, as well as the status bar, down here, status bar plugins. So those were the plugins that that we used, and then did the save and upload to PhoneGap build, and that made it go. So if we look at the app, one thing to look at is with the client-side events, there's on PhoneGap ready, and it says if the device.platform, that's why you need the device information, is iOS, then get the full screen layout, the status bar card, and unhide it, show it, refresh the full screen layout, and make sure that the style is light content. That way you'll have white text. In the design, as you saw here in the top up here, it's black on white for this. Notice when I go out, if I tap on this and log out, then this is white all the way up to the top, but it still has that little black area over there. Okay, let's look over here. If we look at the controls, there's the full screen layout, and there is the status bar card that is black, 20 pixels high, and that gets shown. Normally that is hidden. By default that's hidden. Let me show you how that was done, the hiding. The on create of the full screen layout says get status bar and set it to false. That's why we know that it's going to be hidden. And let's see if we go to, so most everything works as you would expect, but if we go to the new new record card here, there's a button for scan, and if you look at the button for scan, if you click it, it has this code. If Cordova is undefined, that means that you're not running in PhoneGap. So therefore, we used a simulated value, and we may have seen that before. We did a dot scan of the simulated text, whatever was the person typed in. And if it's nothing, then it's got a default. But if this is the way you use the barcode scanner. This was found by going to the documentation that you saw from using PhoneGap with Alpha Anywhere. They had an example of using this, but also if you look at that particular plugin, and you can find out what plugins you're using by going to your own PhoneGap build page for the particular app that you're building. If you look at it there, it gives you a list of your plugins, and you can click on it and get the help for the plugins. The plugin has on success and on failure, and if there's success, you're given the value that it gets from the scan. If it's result.canceled, then you know that the user pressed cancel. Otherwise, take the text that was the result and use it to call got scan, and then that goes and looks it up. So this is all it took to be able to use the scanner, but it only works if you have PhoneGap installed. That's pretty much what it took. Now, when we did, if you look at publish, once you have your app, if you look at the top of your Alpha Anywhere screen, you have publish, and that's where you publish it for use with a real server. You could actually test this if you wanted to with the live preview. If you know where live preview is, you can do that by using remote test to find out where that URL is, and use that URL in your PhoneGap build as where to go. But that's only for local testing, and you'll be using local testing with the passwords. So I hope this helps you in seeing how to set this up. And this goes together with those other videos that, especially the install video for using this app. Thank you very much.